We welcome you inside historic Doyle Field, and a little bit more of that history will be made today as we get set for a recreation of Thanksgiving 1933. Todd Robbins, happy to be here with you on behalf of Leominster Access Television this afternoon, as we welcome you inside of Doyle Field. Players get set down on the field for a pregame prayer along with the officials of sportsmanship.
Prepare to enter into this historical game. We call upon your help, your assistance, your grace, and your blessings. Help each team participate to the best of their ability with a true spirit of thanksgiving for you, for this day, and for those who have made it possible. We ask you to protect these players from all injury and harm. Guide them in a spirit of fair play and good sportsmanship. May each team respect their opponent and always remember that we are all brothers under your guidance and your care. We ask this through Christ our Lord. Amen. Father, Son, Holy Spirit. Amen.
Okay, guys, national anthem's next. Take your sideline.
As we see the pregame prayer finishing up, as was customary in 1933. Mark Bedanza, our resident football historian here in the city of Leominster, will join me to offer color commentary in a bit, and also to give us kind of a little bit more historical perspective. What we can tell you, in 1933 and in the early 1930s, the passing game was introduced to football. So for those of you that were with us or saw the broadcast last year of the 1894 historic recreation game that was held, of course, in the middle of a field up off of Lyndall Street, very different than football of 1933. We'll have more on that after the national anthem. Get set to get underway with the 1933 recreation football game. Recreation, very important note there. This is not a reenactment as you would see in essence of a Revolutionary War or a Civil War reenactment, where the outcome is staged, where the situation is made to replay history. In this case, this is a recreation. It is being played under the same or similar conditions, using the same or similar equipment. The outcome is not staged. What you will see here today is practice football that will be played live and decided right here in front of you today on Leominster Access Television. Todd Robbins, joined by Mark Bedanza shortly. Happy to have you along with us today. Again, football in 1933, as we were saying before the anthem, is the point where you started to see some of the modern developments of football, some of the modern developments that you'd be more familiar with in today's 2010 environment. The passing game introduced in the early 1930s. And for more on that, we'll have Mark Bedanza joining me momentarily. One of the things we can tell you, players are wearing period-specific uniforms with period-specific helmets, leather helmets. And joining me now, Mark Bedanza, the orchestrator, the maestro, if you will, of all of this today. Mark, happy to have you along with us today on LATV.
Thank you very much, Todd. Pleasure to be here.
So, Mark, tell us the introduction really of modern football. If you're doing the comparison, the 1894 recreation game done last year, in the middle of the field under very, very different conditions. not the type of football people were used to seeing. This, in 1933 in the recreation, going to look a little bit more like modern football.
Oh, absolutely. This is much closer to the modern game than the 1894 game was. 1894 game was still had a lot of the aspects of rugby integrated in the sport at that point. 1906, the forward pass was created. It's been refined constantly over the years, really even up to the present. In 1933, of course, there was a forward pass, although the pass was not how we know it today. There were some differences. Should probably go over those at this point for the viewing audience. One difference with the forward pass was that an incomplete pass on the second, third, or fourth down in any series not only carried with it the loss of down as it does today, but also carried with it a 5-yard penalty. The quarterback, when the ball was snapped, if he was going to throw a forward pass, had to be at least 5 yards behind the line of scrimmage. What the viewers just watched was a ceremonial kickoff. It was blown dead purposely just to ensure the safety of the players.
Absolutely. So Leominster will take possession. First down and 10, ball located at their own 20-yard line. The 1933 reenactment game is underway. Leominster won the coin toss. They elected to receive the opening half kickoff.
That 5-yard penalty on incomplete passes creates a whole different strategy
Certainly.
in the game. So does the win today.
No doubt. Leominster comes out in a traditional double wing offense. Nico Mazzaferro at the theoretical quarterback position. Calls to the ball, backpedals. Looks up, pass, leap, catch made there. Nice catch made up across the 20-yard line up to about the 21.
Be very interesting to see how this develops. Last year, you would have thought with 3 downs to make 5 yards, there would have been a lot of scoring, a lot of offense. Game ended 6-0, and that was actually typical of the era. Most of the games back then were a touchdown or 2. So we'll see what happens today.
Except the real 1894 game, 40-0, correct?
Yeah,
Leominster the winner?
That was an aberration.
Yeah, no doubt. Mark Curley steps into the quarterback spot, takes the snap. He decides to keep after faking the handoff. Drives his way forward, gain maybe a couple on the play. Bring up about 3rd down and 7 coming up for the Blue and White Warriors. Some people going, well, wait, the Devils have been the Blue Devils forever. The Fitchburg has always been the Red Raiders. Not the case in 1933.
No, anybody watching this broadcast who knows precisely when the Blue Devil moniker came into being, please let me know. I've been trying to figure it out now for about a year. I've talked to some people who went to school back in that era. The first reference to it was in 1953, but the earliest reference I could find was in the Sentinel in 1953. But it doesn't seem to have a point of demarcation. It just sort of gradually grew on the team.
So at some point, the Devils went from Blue and White Warriors to Devils.
That's correct.
All right, so today they are the Blue and White Warriors. Mazzaferro takes the snap, handoff coming on the end around Nate Como on the carry. Gain maybe a yard on the play. It'll bring up 4th down. 4th down and about 5 for the Blue Devils. Ball sniffing their 25-yard line.
Looks like we're going to see our first punt of the day. This ball has got a lot more give to it than the ball today, so you can really get your foot into it, and you can understand how a player like Jim Thorpe did a legendary drop kick. I think it was 63 yards, if I'm not mistaken, back in the early part of the last century. You can kind of get a better feel for that when you feel this, when you look at this ball and you see how it's kicked.
What was the developmental changes between the football in 1894 to this point in 1930? Were there a lot of changes?
Yeah, the ball keeps getting narrower.
Okay.
More sphere-like every year. The 1894 ball was 24 inches at its midpoint, measured around. This ball is 22.5 inches, so
okay.
quite a bit skinnier than the 1894 ball. Today, the ball at the midpoint is 21.5 inches, so 1 inch difference between the current ball and the ball these guys are playing with today.
Very good. Ball on the punt, out of bounds at the Redskin 43-yard line. Be 1st down and 10 Redskins, their own 43. Redskins come out. Ryan Logan, 35 at quarterback for the Redskins. The umpire bringing the ball in from the far sideline. Yes, those good humor-looking men out there, those are referees of 1933.
Dressed in period uniform.
Said to the guys before the games, must have been hard to keep clean. Logan on the snap, and the keeper works his way forward, pushes the ball up to the 45. May have lost the football. We await the signal. We've got it. It's Blue Warrior football. First play from scrimmage, Ryan Logan fumbles on his way to the ground. Blue Warriors take over. First down and 10 at the Redskin 43.
First turnover of the day.
Certainly a lot of adaptation. These guys who are all modern football players having to adapt to the conditions of the ball, the field. Of course, artificial surface didn't exist in 33, but hey, not much you can do about that, right?
Good thing it exists today because of yesterday's weather.
You're absolutely right. So the Blue Warriors start their second possession of the day. First down and 10 at the Redskin 43. Warriors trying to get some players out on the field. They need an extra tackle up along the line.
Dangerously close to a penalty for a delay of game, I think.
Play clock situation back in the day?
I imagine it was 30 seconds. I'm not exactly sure.
All right.
The refs have done incredible research.
Handoff inside, first big run of the day. That's Adam Cordio working his way forward. He's got the first down of the day up to the Redskin 30, make it the 29-yard line.
Peeled off a nice one.
A very familiar-looking I formation there, something the Devils use still today as their base formation in 2010. Cordio came up a little gimpy on the play, all the way over to the bench he goes. We'll check on him.
Looks like he might have got stepped on the foot.
Certainly thinner padding these days. In 1933, leather helmets, not the revolution from Riddle that exists today.
No.
And very thin shoulder pads I saw the guys out there wearing as well.
They're actually wearing shoulder pad cushions. They have the same profile as what the shoulder pads were back in 1933. So not a heck of a lot of protection.
Offset I, Nico Mazzaferro, under center. Checks the line, the snap, the handoff to the fullback, first man through. He got whacked and then taken down up to about the 28, maybe gains 1. It's Nate Como on the carry.
Most notably, no face masks today.
Yes. 33 up to about the early 40s, right before at least the initial nose guard came into play.
The fellow who's in the booth with us, Bill Mackey, from the Fitchburg High School 1933 squad, actually got himself a bit of a face mask in 1933.
No kidding.
In the very first game that season, he had a severe laceration to the lip, and Coach Amiot made him wear a bar across his helmet for the rest of the season. He didn't like it, by the way, but Coach Amiot insisted.
Mazzaferro surprised by the snap from center. He got the handoff off. Alex Rivera on the carry. Lost the football. The Redskins think they have it. Signal from the officials on the field. Blue Devils maintain possession after a short loss back to the 30-yard line. It'll be third down and a long 10 coming up for the Leominster Blue Warriors. Mazzaferro coming in with the play from the near sideline. They're talking with Coach Dave Palazzi and Gil Donatelli down on the near sideline. Rivera stays as the single back in the backfield, straight back behind Mazzaferro. Play calling today looking a little bit like, hey, you go to the trash can and make a right. I'll hit you on the pass. And the Blue Devils take a timeout on the field. It gives us an opportunity to talk a little bit more with local historian Mark Bonanza. Mark, a lot of history, done a lot of research, wrote the book 1933. I mean, how is it that you were able to translate that into what we're seeing today?
Well, it's the sort of a synergy, obviously, between the book and the game. It's just a tremendous, living history display, and pleasure to do it. A lot of great help from wonderful people, the organizers, the players themselves, and so many other people have helped out with this. And of course, our good friends at LATV and so forth. And there's a lot of interest in it. We actually have a couple fellows in the booth here today who are broadcasting this live in the New York City area. You can believe that. And I think it's unique. And last year was a great success, so we decided we'd try it one more time. And here we are today.
Harder to do a 1894 recreation or a 1933 recreation?
They're different. I don't know whether either one was harder. The 1894, we had to build the field.
Yep.
So in one sense, this particular game, we didn't have to build the field.
Mazzaferro on the quick flip reverse, going left to right across the formation with Nate Como. Gets up across the 20-yard line, pushed out of bounds at about the Redskin 19. Very close to a first down. They actually mark him back across the 20 at the 21. Be about a yard shy. 4th and short coming up for the Leominster Blue Warriors.
First big play of the game.
Yeah, no doubt about that. How long have these guys been practicing in preparation for this game?
Really about 2 months.
Okay.
Last year there was a much bigger learning curve.
Certainly.
Because of the rules are so vastly different. This year the rule differences, although there are a number of them, it's a lot more recognizable and a lot more like traditional football.
Mazzaferro, quick snap, and the keeper straightforward. He got wrapped up and driven back. See if the mark gives him enough distance up to about the 20-yard line. Need to get across the 20 to get the first down. They say no. He is short. Turnover on downs. Ball back to the Fitchburg Redskins.
Fitchburg came up big.
Yes, they did. Grab Mazzaferro, tried to go with a little quick sneak over the middle, and got taken back. As of yet, 2 series for the Blue Warriors, only the 1 series for the Redskins. Not one pass has gone through the air as of yet, being very judicious about their use.
Well, we have one right off. It wasn't the first play.
Oh, the very first play from scrimmage. You're absolutely right. Was a quick pass. You're right.
Complete, too.
Yeah, that's right. For all of a yard, yes, it was. Ryan Logan continues at quarterback for the Redskins. Snap and the inside handoff, going left to right across the formation, stacked up and taken back. Pushed back to about the 16-yard line, loss of about 4 on the play.
A bit of a defensive battle shaping up.
Indeed we do. I'm sure the learning curve for the defense is not as hard as that for the offenses. Offenses, you got to learn a whole new style.
Yeah.
Defenses, just go forward and find the guy with the ball.
I think that's generally true.
Clock continues to run here at Doyle Field. Under 8 minutes left in quarter number 1. Logan the snap. Handoff inside man, bounces off a tackle. That was Ed Wizikirky, may have lost the football. They say recovered by the Redskins, and the Redskins coaching staff wants a timeout to talk things over. Having a little trouble, they're trying to find the handle on the football.
Yeah, it might be a judicious use of a timeout right here.
Crowd on hand here today at Doyle Field. Most of the crowd right actually underneath our press location, going on the theoretical home sideline of the field. Going the full length, Mark. Got a pretty good crowd for a beautiful Saturday.
It's filling in. The visitor side is in the shade, and don't think too many people want to be over there.
Now, there was a point actually, just trying to remember a little bit of my history, where Leominster actually had a home side of the field that was on the other sideline.
That's a new one on me.
That's a new one on you?
That's
yeah.
a new one on me.
I believe, I'm trying to remember what the arrow was. I was told that they actually were on the opposite side of the field at one juncture.
Oh, they probably decided that the sun was the way to go.
I was going to say, the sun angle definitely is in favor of Leominster being on this sideline. Logan drops a pass off, complete to what appeared to be a lineman. 57, Matt Elgarin on the catch and carry. May have lost the football again.
Looks that way.
Referees getting together. They say it's a Blue Warrior football. So they flip the forward pass from Logan to Matt Elgarin. He gains a few, loses the handle, and the ball is recovered by the Blue Warriors. Happy to have you along with us today from Doyle Field. Todd Robbins alongside historian Mark Bonanza on Leominster Access Television's coverage of the 1933 recreation football game. A last of its kind, I'm told.
Yeah, I don't think we'll be doing this again, Todd. This is like planning a couple of weddings at the same time. It's a lot of fun, but and then it loses its luster too.
Certainly.
You know, you can only do the same thing so many times. But not saying it never will happen again, but I think it'd be a long time before it ever happens again.
Nico Mazzaferro continues in that quarterback position, leading the offense for the Blue Warriors. Strolls to the line, offset I. I backfield behind him has Alex Rivera dotting. On the snap, on the little play action fake throw over the middle, short of its intended receiver.
A penalty.
Flag down on the field. That was a pass on first down, so they shouldn't face the loss of yardage, correct?
No, it shouldn't be a penalty for a second, third, or fourth incomplete pass.
Well, the signal looked very similar to illegal forward pass against the offense.
Yeah, I guess that's what it looks like. Maybe he wasn't 5 yards back. I didn't see that, but reminding the viewers, he has to be at least 5 yards back from the line of scrimmage.
Led to a lot of that backpedaling. You know, today you have the very traditional drop back passer, kind of as more of a sidestep, where they were more of a backpedal out of the snap.
Yeah, they've been in pretty traditional modern football formations for the most part. Haven't seen much of the shotgun, although looks like he's in the shotgun now.
Indeed he is. Shotgun with the single back standing next to him is Alex Rivera. Mazzaferro, the quick back pedal, flips it off. Pass is complete. Man ducks the first tackle, gets across the 25, stacked up and driven way back. Point of farthest progress brings him up to the 21-yard line of the Redskins. A lot of action been going on between the Redskin 20 and 25-yard line over the last few minutes.
Ball's a little stagnant in those. Apparently it likes that part of the field.
No doubt.
Third down!
Team. Check that, the 14.
The shotgun was almost was the predominant formation used in 1933 by both Leominster and Fitchburg. A lot of times shifts in the backfield before the ball was snapped. Oftentimes the halfbacks passed. In fact, in Morris's is not, the halfback was passing the ball. So quite a bit different than what we see today.
End around coming from the far side, coming right to left. The handoff went for Rivera coming on the end around. Works his way up to about the 15-yard line, be about shy of a yard. Bringing up fourth down. Fourth down the spot, about the 16.
Another big down for the blue and white Warriors.
A lot of misdirection used back in the day, as you said, with a lot of shifts going on pre-snap.
Leominster used what was called the Rockney system, the Newt Rockney system, famous coach, of course, for Notre Dame, which prioritized deception and then speed and then power last. Fitchburg back in those days used the Warner system, or Gene Pop Warner, famous football coach, of course, from the early part of the last century. And that system emphasized power, then speed, and deception last.
Offset I behind Mazzaferro, hard count. And he wasn't able to draw them off, so the Devils will call a timeout. That's a little bit of modern football chicanery, if you will.
Yeah.
Try to go with the hard count, see if you can get the defense to jump.
Well, it's good statistical play. You never know.
That's absolutely right. Well, you're in a situation here which, whether it was 1933 or 2010, probably a little too far away to kick and a little bit too close to punt. Actually, a lot too close to punt. So you're in a situation where you're in four-down territory. Likely that the Blue and White Warriors will go for it here on fourth down and about to spot the Redskins' 16-yard line.
They have the wind at their back, but I think you're right. I think they're going to see if they can pick up that yard.
You mentioned the drop kick and, of course, the place kick, a lot different back in the day as well. It was more straight-on kicking as opposed to the soccer style of the more modern era.
Absolutely.
Was the drop kick more or less common?
I would say it was more common.
Okay.
And you know, back in those days, the kicking game was, again, very important because the conversion after a touchdown was 1 point whether you ran or whether you kicked. So obviously, if you had a good kicker, more than likely you were going to have a kick for the conversion as opposed to a run. Playing the statistics once again.
Mazzaferro had some issues getting the ball to Rivera on 4th down. It was fumbled, picked up going the other way by Tim Letarte. Letarte returned it up to about the Redskin 25.
Well, Todd, once again, as you indicated, we seem to be playing the game in one very worn spot on the field.
No doubt about that. Now, the ball went down on the field, and they actually brought it back to where the ball hit, which was about the 14-yard line. I'm going to assume rules-wise, if a fumble came out on 4th down, it was marked where the ball hit the ground?
Yeah,
it was a dead ball?
Apparently, he couldn't advance it at that point.
Okay. So the mark then will be the 14-yard line of the Redskins. Redskins certainly have not had the benefit of field position as we've chronicled, as we've worked our way through quarter number 1, just under 3.5 minutes remaining. Logan will go under center this time. Straight back eye behind him. Snap, handoff to the second man through. Lost the football again, but may have got back down on top of it. Got it across the 15 up to about the 16-yard line. Gain of 1 on the play for the Redskins. 2nd down and 9 coming up. Ball shifted to the left hash here for 2nd down and 9. Under center goes Logan, takes the snap. Handoff for the eye back coming through. Looked like 28.
Fitchburg just can't get its running game on track.
No doubt about that, it was 28. Ed Wazurki. These period-specific uniforms, a little bit easier to read the numbers on the back than on the front. The symbols have anything to do with anything? I've seen some different things. I saw at one point in some of the video we saw at the Hall of Fame induction an equal sign at one point.
Yeah,
you know what it looked like?
Those were just really to keep the ball stable in the ball carrier's arms.
Okay.
There really was no other purpose than that. And then as the passing game developed, they needed numbers, of course, as they started realizing that having numbers would be easier to figure out who the designated receivers were.
Logan back to pass, leaping interception made. Big INT there, nice catch coming from the far side. 55 on the catch is Mike Gentile. He got up, made the interception around the 28-yard line, and the blue and white Warriors take over once again.
Very pretty play.
Indeed. Nice pass from Logan, the best one we've seen all day long.
Unfortunately.
Yeah, I was going to say, hung up there for him, and Gentile got underneath it.
Gentile, a former linebacker at Leominster High School.
That's correct. Played a little fullback as well. And now, actually, on the present coaching staff, I know he arrived just a little while before game time. I believe was coaching the JV squad.
That's correct.
Out at their game today against Wachusett.
He's having a big football experience today.
That's right. Rivera, the single man, straight back in the backfield behind the quarterback, Mazzaferro. Pair of receivers to each side of the formation. Mazzaferro asks for the ball, sweet pitch coming to the left, and whistles kill the play. Prior to the snap, false start against the blue and white Warriors. A 5-yard mark off, takes the ball back across the 30 to the 33. 1st and 15 coming up. Ball shifted to the right hash. Out of the huddle, the blue and white Warriors of Leominster come walking to the line. Mazzaferro with Rivera behind him, the single back. Sweet pitch coming to the left, sets Rivera looked like he was going to go with a halfback pass, decides to tuck and run. He's got the 30, up to the 25, into the scrum he goes, up to about the 24-yard line.
Some quick moves, Alex Rivera.
No doubt about that. Rivera was a running back for the Blue Devils in his time period.
Back on the 25-yard line.
Yeah, I was going to say right back in between the 30 and the 15. It's been a 15-yard area of the field we've seen quite a bit of. In the first quarter of action, here from Doyle Field, 1933 recreation football. About 18 seconds showing on the scoreboard clock inside Doyle Field. Obviously a beautiful modern Daktronics board. They kept it on the old watch on the wrist, right? Sweep watch was the method back in 1933.
That's correct.
We were joking a little bit up here, maybe an hourglass. Turn it over, run out of sand. Horn signals the end of quarter number 1. The Devils get one more play off, make that the Blue Warriors. Gain of maybe a half a yard. And so ends quarter number 1. And at the end of quarter number 1, 1933 recreation football, it's the Leominster Blue and White Warriors, nothing. The Fitchburg Redskins, nothing. Leominster Access Television's coverage of the 1933 recreation football game on a beautiful day here from historic Doyle Field. Another chapter of that history being written in recreation form today. Todd Robbins alongside Leominster football historian Mark Bonanza. And Mark, talk about the 1933 game as it was. What were the conditions in that 1933 game?
It's a sunny day. Reasonably warm. Thanksgiving time, of course.
Yep.
Played on November 30th. Back when Thanksgiving was on the last Thursday. Before the merchants got tired out. But it was, I'm sure not as warm as it is today. Back November 30th. It was decent conditions. It was a pretty high-fought game. Fitchburg did prevail in that game, 2012. Ronnie Cahill did miss. Very critical at the point. Back then, conversion after a touchdown, you needed 2 scores, a touchdown and without that 2-point conversion, you needed a touchdown or a field goal to overcome the lack of that extra point conversion.
And of course, the matchup of the era was Ronnie Cahill for Leominster and Bill Mackey for Fitchburg.
Absolutely. But talking to Bill Mackey, they never considered themselves counterparts, or they were just one other guy on the squad. And that's the beauty of it. And one of the things that motivated me to write the book was just to capture that humble leadership that these men displayed. Really a testament to their time and a testament to them and their teams.
So the teams change ends to start quarter number 2. Quick pitch for Danny Santabria. Santabria wearing 11 there. Works his way up the middle, and the pitch going from right to left across the 15 and up to about the 11-yard line. First down for the Blue and White Warriors. Of course, I'm sure both Mr. Mackey and Mr. Cahill didn't consider themselves counterparts because they weren't portrayed that way. I mean, no broadcast media at that point, no hype, just a little bit in the newspaper, right?
Oh, a lot of newspaper coverage, absolutely. The newspapers covered high school football with the same vigor that they do today, even more so maybe.
Certainly no 24-hour news cycle, no internet, no TV, no radio even in 1933.
Oh, no, plenty of radio.
All right, the inside handoff we went.
The 1933 the professional game was really pretty much non-existent.
Yep.
It was a professional game, but it didn't have the same stature that it does today. So the focus was really on high school and college football back in those years. In 1933, actually, the pros played their first championship game when they had 2 divisions. That was the first time they divided the league into the East and Western division of the NFL, and they played a championship game. There were championship games before 1933 that they had to run off when the 2 top teams finished tied. But other than that, that was the first time they actually had a playoff between divisions. Exciting game, by the way, won by the Chicago Bears over the New York Giants.
Mazzaferro split backs behind him. The give to Santabria. He cuts back across the 10 up to about the 8-yard line. Deepest we've seen either team get into the scoring area. good stiff breeze coming up, and saw one of those hats go flying there off a referee.
This is a end of the field for Leominster where the field goal, I think, would really be difficult. That wind is gusting right in the face.
And of course, with the renovations that have been done in the modern Doyle Field, that bowl a little bit sharper than it looked like. I was looking at the picture from 33 that was in the program, and it seemed like the ground didn't sink as much. Is this set down a little bit farther than at the time?
I don't think so. I think it's pretty close to what the original grade was.
I'm looking at that wind coming off that hill going, wow.
Opened October 10, 1931, Doyle Field.
Okay.
1933 game was played here. It was the second Thanksgiving game hosted at Doyle Field.
Mazzaferro switches back to the gun, trips to the right of the formation, a single receiver to his left. He bootlegs right, throws right, pass is caught inside the 5 and out of bounds it goes. Nice catch made there by Nate Como. Should be a first down.
Referee was right on top of that.
Yes, he was. Maybe just shy, maybe about half a yard or so.
Shane Crew get out of the way, heads up.
Hats are flying, I'll tell you. It's starting to look a little like a 1933 game. You know, those hats didn't have any kind of adjustability. It just kind of sat on your head.
We have another big fourth down play for Leominster.
Devils looking for, Blue and White Warriors looking for a conversion here. Need about a half a yard inside the Redskin 4-yard line, about the 3. Spot is near hash.
Clearly the play of the game thus far.
Oh, no doubt. A very key moment. Blue and White Warriors tried a sneak earlier on a 4th and short. See what they try to do here. Take it off the line. They give it to Rivera. Rivera ducks his shoulder. Yes, he did. He's got himself a first down, and he is just shy of the end zone. Mark him down at about the half-yard line, but you're absolutely right. He dipped his shoulder, and he drove his way in there.
Yeah, give him credit. He was putting a lot of effort into that run.
Just about a half a yard shy. First down for Leominster.
I think we're going to see Nico Mazzaferro take another quarterback sneak. I'm not sure about it.
Certainly not far to go. One of the things we always talk about in modern football, when you only have a half a yard to go, why do you ever take the ball off the line of scrimmage?
Yeah.
Just a little snap and go, but one never knows.
Might be looking to the center here. This should be Mark Curley, if I'm not mistaken, right?
Yep. That's Mark Curley at the center position. I was joking with him before the game. It's probably the lowest number he's ever wore while playing in the center position. 28 out on the field today. Under center, Mazzaferro shifts the backfield behind him. The snap, the give to Rivera. He drives his way in. He's got 6. Touchdown, Leominster.
Marco Tool Curley.
Yes.
5 generations of Curleys or Tools have played in the Leominster football heritage. His grandfather played in the very first Leominster Fitchburg game, October 20th, 1894. Just up the hill from here, top part of Doyle Field.
No kidding. Yeah. That was where the original was held. All right.
That was a trotting park.
Okay.
And that's where they used to play football back in those days because it was an open field. And they played there until 1917. And then they shifted up to behind the old high school on West Street where they played from 1918 until Doyle Field opened in 1931.
Extra point attempt coming up here. Showing a little bit of that soccer-style mark-off there as the modern players try to adapt to this system. Flags kill the play. Steve Modica is going to try the kick. A little pre-snap motion against the Blue and White Warriors will be a 5-yard mark-off.
This is a very important play. Like I said, without a 2-point conversion, you know, if you can hold the team, if you can hold Leominster from converting here, and Fitchburg can score and convert, then you need it's a whole nother score.
They'll be kicking the ball from about the 14 is where it will hit the ground. Snap, they get it down. Extra point is up, and it is no good. They say wide to the left. So the Blue and White Warriors come back up the field with a 6-0 lead.
I didn't catch who the holder was, but he did a heck of a job getting that ball.
Yes, he did.
We were talking earlier about media.
Yes.
Actually, the Boston media newspapers covered Leominster and Fitchburg pretty much throughout the season, 1933. Kind of started when Leominster beat Quincy by 46-0. Both of the squads enjoyed a tremendous amount of success that year against some of those eastern teams in Massachusetts. Fitchburg beating Arlington and Brockton, Leominster beating Quincy. The Boston newspapers paid attention, I'll tell you that. And Boston newspapers were really the ones who deemed the 1933 Thanksgiving Day game as being the unofficial state championship.
Yeah, that was going to be my next question to you. Of course, you said a lot of the focus was on, of course, high school and on college football in the era. What was the division like? I mean, did every town have a team? Did every school have a team? I mean, how many participating teams were there in football at that time?
Very prevalent sport.
Okay.
Played in high schools all over. It was a great diversion and entertainment for people, and they love the game just as they do today. In fact, in some ways, with the lack of it, they entertain themselves with things like this, because today we have so many choices, of course, to turn on the TV and 200 channels.
Yeah, and there's still nothing on.
Yeah, exactly. There's no television back in 1933. Radio was the chief source of entertainment. In fact, Leominster had a very significant piano case and piano industry up until the 30s, and people before the advent of the radio, really sat in the parlor and around the piano and sang songs.
No kidding.
When the Depression came along, and the radio came along around the same time as the Depression, then that kind of killed the piano case industry and really put it to rest in Leominster, because people stopped using the piano as their form of entertainment.
Redskins bounce off a tackle there. That was Wizerki again. He gets another couple of yards. Redskins moving the ball the best thus far. 2 plays. They've moved themselves 8 yards. They got a third and about 2 coming up across their own 25 up to about their 27-yard line. Ball spot center of the field. You can see defensive coordinator Ralph Jake standing at about the numbers on the near sideline. Good to see Ralph involved with the game.
That's right.
Ryan Logan, shotgun backfield. Bad snap, plays it nicely, makes a nice bootleg to the right, shoots a little dart out there that hits incomplete. Hit the receiver in the chest at about the 29, and out of bounds it went incomplete.
Broke up by number 42.
Well, our numbering system tells me that's Tom Pemerini.
Tom Pemerini. I was going to guess that, but I didn't want to guess without the benefit of the roster.
Numbers have been changing a little bit up till game time, but
well, it's the equipment, has to be fit to everybody.
Of course.
And some of the guys change their jerseys around because one fit better than the other.
So a 4th down and 2, and the Redskins look like they are going to punt.
Mr. stands to get good field position again. However, the Redskins do have the wind at their back, and that ball can sail.
And Ryan Logan will do the punting. Got it away in some traffic and a butte. He got away. Ball was muffed. It's on the turf. Still loose. Diving play made, and a final save made there by 32, Ryan Rendon for the blue and white Warriors, finally recovering possession. What a play there,
that was
all
amazing.
around.
Absolutely amazing. The blue and white have to give Mr. Rendon a medal of commendation for that one, because that didn't look too good.
No doubt. Well, on all ends of that play, punt barely gets away on the foot of Logan. He shoots a butte down the field. It was bobbled by Bishop Link, who was kind of backpedaling, took it off the shoulder, it hit the turf, and we had guys diving around, scrumming for the football, and Ryan Rendon ends up at the bottom of the pile for the blue and white Warriors.
Bishop Link was saved by Mr. Rendon.
No doubt about that. Ball at about the blue and white 23.
Back to that spot again.
Yeah, I was going to say, we've been on this end of the field before. This time, though, coming out from the end zone to our left, with the blue going left to right. here in the second quarter of action. They are up 6-0. Mazzaferro checks the line and asks for the ball. Fakes the pitch on a busted play, nowhere to go but down. Thinks somebody was supposed to run to the right, and they ran to the left.
A certain lack of interference.
Certainly. Short loss in the play. Bring up about a 2nd and 12. Mazzaferro into the huddle he goes. That old-time way, gets down on one knee in the center of the huddle, gives him the little diagram in the dirt. All right, here's what we're going to do. Of course, the dirt's synthetic in 2010. Mazzaferro back out of the gun, Santabria next to him. Pass is caught on the strike coming from the right. Nice slant and the catch made.
Sorry about that, Todd.
No worries.
Ducked out to broadcast a little bit media in New York City. Very unique today that this game is actually being carried live in the metropolitan New York area. And then will be rebroadcast in another station in the metropolitan New York area.
No kidding. I'll tell you, we've got a little bit of a benefit here on LA TV today. We've got the pictures that go with it so you can see what 1933 looked like. The gentleman doing the radio today, they got the taller task to try to recreate what it looked like in 1933. Because, of course, everyone who would be listening to a football game is imagining modern helmets, modern uniforms, modern equipment. To see it is to believe it today as history is brought to life and recreated, most importantly. No decided outcome in this ball game.
No.
Mazzaferro, little pitch out for Rivera, was looking for a halfback pass. Rivera ends up getting stuffed, has to keep it, tries to fight it back to the line, ends up losing a yard, about the 30-yard line of the blue and white.
Well, a game effort by Mr. Rivera, but it came up short.
Some great angles going out there on the field today. Some of the different camera work, a couple of field level cameras. I know the umpire, the traditional officiating position that's usually between the linebackers in the defensive backfield, is wearing a camera on his chest today, bringing some very cool pictures.
Can't wait to see that.
Very, very cool pictures.
This was Leominster's first punt, is it not?
I believe it is on all of their other fourth down situations. They've had the short field, and they've been able to go for it. In this case, long field situation, ball at their own 30, and they send Pat Moran in to do the punting. Flag flies. Referee was looking at his watch. I'm going to guess for a delay against the Blue and White Warriors. Indeed it is, delay of game against the Blue and White. Mark them back 5 yards, now to their 25-yard line. Just a little bit longer field to punt.
Had to get used to watching these guys walk around the field with leather helmets, isn't it?
Leather helmets. Bad snap. Moran shanks it off the side of his foot. Didn't get but 3 yards. Touched, working its way forward. Picked up. Whistles kill from behind the play. Referees on the near side are signaling touchdown. They need to get together on that because that, of course, same thing where you had a loose ball. Can they recover it? Or is the ball dead at the point where it hit the ground? These are modern football referees, gentlemen, that have actually done the modern game.
Can't advance it.
That's right, having to talk over and get back to 1933 rules. And it is our best understanding they cannot advance it. Referees need to get together and talk things over. Holding the spot right now at about the 1, maybe 2 yard line.
I think that's where it's going to be.
So if you have the receiving team, then it's a touchdown. Right? It was never controlled. All right. Yeah. Okay. All right.
Here comes the signal. They seem to have gotten together on it. The signal is touchdown. Touchdown, Redskins. 6-all our score. 4:54 remaining in the first half.
A little hard to see from this angle down there what exactly happened, but
it appeared it was blocked or shanked, one or the other. It was hard to tell. The kick didn't go very far. Tim Letarte is going to try the extra point, but first, the Redskins are going to talk things over.
Your guy did it too. Your snapper did it too. So for the purpose, I know, but for the purposes of this game with this ball that you guys don't have the experience with it, we're not going to call that. All right? Your guys are doing the same thing.
So Mark, you've researched 1894. You've researched 1933. What's next for you?
Well, I'm actually researching a book now on the life of former Celtic JoJo White.
Okay.
So we're a little shifting out of football for a little while into the round ball.
Yes, sir.
Or a rounder ball than the 1894 ball.
That's what I was going to say.
No, it was a lot of fun researching the history of Leominster football. The heritage is just amazing. And, of course, the Fitchburg rivalry is a big part of that heritage. Starting in 1894, 116 years, 126 games. The series is tied 58, 58, and 10.
And that is amazing.
That's according to my...
Extra point is blocked, and that'll end the play. Play blown dead. It's a bad snap. Holder did a nice job to get it up, but at that point, the timing of the play was off. Easily, the defense made it through and batted it back.
We got a little excitement going
Yes,
here.
we do, and the crowd getting into it as well. Very neat day on this warm Saturday at Doyle Field. I'll tell you what a gem this is for the city and has been since way back when Mr. Bernie Doyle donated it.
I think Mr. Bernard Doyle would envision this 1933 football game being played here in 2010.
I don't know. I mean, even with the renovation, I mean, with what it was, I mean, the field was beautiful. It was state-of-the-art at its time, worked its way through the developing era, and then with the renovation project that's been done here at Doyle Field, yeah, I don't know if in 1933 it could have envisioned all of this, but great job that's been done. The Doyle Field Foundation, along with the Doyle Field Commission.
None of the Thanksgiving games between 1918 and 1930 were played in Leominster. Every single one of those games was played at Crocker Field because Leominster didn't really have a field that could compare. And that was the motivation, in large part, for Bernard Doyle to provide this magnificent facility.
Mazzaferro, the snap on the delay, handoff through to Rivera. Flag flies from the far side of the field. We'll await the signal.
Hey, nice job, Red captain, red captain. Right there, go to the referee, please.
Had to pose for a photo, a collector's item, I'm sure.
Okay,
Mr. Jack Selly on the camera.
Illegal shift the signal against the blue and white Warriors.
Yeah.
Shift it back 5 yards on the mark off to the 15-yard line. First down and 15 coming up.
These guys are playing hard.
Yes, they are. It's certainly full speed, full contact.
You've got to give them a tremendous amount of credit. You really do. Both teams.
Certainly, it's not like they've been practicing all day, every day. They've practiced a few hours every day. Guys giving up time with work and families and everything else. Done a great, great job. Mazzaferro, the delay on the little play action fake, looking down the seam. Football may have been coming forward. The ball hit the ground. Be a question of whether it's a fumble or an incomplete pass. The officials will get together.
Looks like the tuck roll.
They're saying, yeah, it's a fumble, and it's Redskin football.
No, he's ruling it a fumble.
Redskins the beneficiary of some great field position. Wow. They're going to take over. First down and 10 deep in blue and white Warrior territory at about the 15. Make it the 10, actually.
Well, the blue and white have their backs against the wall.
Yes, they do.
They have to come up with a defensive effort here.
See what they can come out with. Personnel changes on both sides of the field. And now here come the Redskins out of the huddle. Game tied at 6, 4:25 left in the first half. I backfield behind Logan. Snap, the handoff of the man dotting the I. 28, Wazierski again. Gain of about 3, up to about the 6. Logan on the snap. Bootleg fake. He got stacked up in the backfield. Pat Moran, the first in on the hit. He got stood up on his head there a little bit as well. Not as much protection in those leather helmets.
No, there's a little bit of a retractor with straps in the crown of it, but it's not going to give you very much protection.
Where did you guys get the, I mean, obviously the uniforms are period specific, maybe not the wool, if you will, or whatever the material was. Obviously the leather helmets, I mean, where are they making these type of equipment these days?
The helmets were manufactured by a company from Texas called Pastime Sports. They supply the movie industry. They actually did the movie Leatherheads.
Handoff straight up the middle to the end zone is a touchdown. Touchdown on the carry. Eric Meza on the carry straight up the middle. He's got 6 more for the Redskins.
He had a huge hole.
Yes, he did. Wide open. Nice blocking up in front of him. So the Redskins jump to a 12-6 lead here late in half number 1. Looks likely here that they will attempt the traditional point after.
A very important one.
Indeed, Tim Letarte. Good snap, ball down. Letarte puts his foot into it, and he rips it through. 13-6 our score as the teams come back up the field. 3:34 left in half number 1.
Very big kick.
Oh, no doubt.
Leominster needs 2 scores now.
Alongside Mark Bonanza, Todd Robbins, happy to be here with you for Leominster Access Television's coverage of the 1933 recreation game, a sun-drenched historic Doyle Field today. Great pictures being brought to you by the folks here at Leominster Access Television. Obviously, as we talked about right off the top, for those of you just joining us, we had a ceremonial first kickoff, and the play was blown dead, and from there, the kicks are just being recreated as touchbacks. So both teams, after touchdowns, taking over, obviously the opposition taking over, first down and 10 at their own 20.
Yeah, just to try to add a little safety to the game.
No doubt about that. Just a little bit.
Yeah, a little bit.
Santa Bria will take over at the quarterback. Fakes the handoff, tries to keep it. Santa Bria ends up losing 4 yards on the play, maybe more. Back across the 15, all the way back to the 11, a 9-yard loss on the play. Tried to get away from the defense, and it seemed like right off the snap, a great jump by the Redskins. They were in the backfield before Santa Bria had time to even breathe.
That's the first time that Leominster lined up 2 guys sort of in the shotgun where either one of them could have received the ball from center.
And that was the situation, too. You didn't necessarily have a named quarterback. It was a position, but the ball could have been snapped to, as you said, anybody in most of those backfields in the 30s.
That was really the principle of the game back then. They shifted a lot in the backfield, too, so you really never knew who was going to get the ball.
Rivera with the straightforward handoff on the dive. Gains back some yardage, back across the 15 of the 16. And the Redskins take a timeout on the field, trying to preserve maybe a little bit of clock there, thinking they'll get another opportunity as the Blue and White Warriors are looking at 3rd down, 3rd and about 13.
Yeah, Coach Meza doing a little clock management. Just got a visit from Coach Cosenza. It was nice to see him.
Absolutely. I think everyone involved with this rivalry, wherever you've been, now going into the 127th meeting coming up on Thanksgiving Day 2010, has always felt like you're a part of something so much bigger. I mean, it's just so much bigger than yourself. But it's just, you know, where else would you go on Thanksgiving morning?
No,
I mean, it's great. From 1894 on up.
Great tradition here in this region of the state, obviously. And, you know, as I researched those many years, I came to one conclusion that, you know, your rival, whether you're Fitchburg or you're Leominster, is really important, because without that rival, the season's not the same. So as pointed at sometimes as those games become, I think the youth especially have to keep that in mind, that other team, Fitchburg or Leominster, really provides them with the stage in order to have that wonderful opportunity to play in such a big game.
Third down and about 13, Mazzaferro in the shotgun snap. Backpedals 5 steps, looks down the seam, passes deflected and incomplete. Almost intercepted by a couple of different Redskins. And you know, Mark, you make a great point that each of the other towns really gives the other the opportunity to be successful. And it's not just in football. Obviously, it's gone on in industry where it was paper versus plastic. It was all these different things between both Leominster and Fitchburg.
Yeah, it's been an interesting history because, you know, when it all started, especially in the early part of the 20th century, Leominster wasn't nearly the size of Fitchburg. It was generally about 1/3 the size of Fitchburg back in those years. And with the exception of the little teams in the very first game, it was very difficult for Leominster to compete. But the tradition in Leominster has always been to play bigger and better teams.
On the punt, snap over the head and out the back of the end zone.
Looks like we got a safety.
2 more points for the Redskins.
Special teams is having an impact on the blue and white Warriors.
Indeed they are. And you know, I heard you the other night. We're at the Leominster High School, the inaugural induction of the Leominster High School Football Hall of Fame. We'll talk a little bit more about that in the second half, about the individuals and the teams that were recognized. But one of the things you said in your speech about the situation is that, you know, Leominster was once a very rural community compared to the more urban Fitchburg. And, and, you know, it's funny how today Leominster is more the center of commercial and considered more the urban center maybe than Fitchburg is, as they don't see quite the commercial development these days.
It's amazing how things change over the years, you know. But back in the 20s, especially, Fitchburg was a mecca of industry and commerce. They had, you know, probably, like I said, a population of over 30,000 people. In fact, there were 30,000 people living in Fitchburg in 1900. Wow. You can believe that. 1876, Fitchburg had the largest exhibit at the World's Fair out in Chicago. So, you know, Fitchburg really had a lot going on back in those days. So for Leominster to try to compete with Fitchburg was really something. And then he had a coach. They had Coach Ambiot, who 2 years out of high school took over the Red and Gray, not only as its football coach, but as its athletic director, and had an amazing record. 25 years, he posted a .724 winning percentage in football.
Coming back up the field off the safety, ball spot the 20-yard line for the Redskins. Set back to pass, looking down the seam. It was a go-get-it type pass, and just out of the reach. Ryan Logan that time was the intended receiver as opposed to coming out of the quarterback spot. Pass was sent upfield.
Stretching the field.
Yeah, no doubt. Is that 26 or 36 that sent that ball upfield? It was either Andrew Elgarin for the Redskins. Didn't get a real good look at the number. Whoever it was threw another one. A great tight spiral. As tight a spiral as you could throw with a ball of this shape.
Ball's a big ball, and getting your hand around it isn't easy. You got to have a pretty good size hand.
What's the seams like on this ball? Of course, in the modern era, you got a raised seam.
It's raised, but they're leather, so it's like a rawhide lace. So it's a pretty good grip on that. But the ball is like, even that inch, it makes a huge difference.
Straight back snap, 28 to Wazerski. Flag flew in from the far side. Those familiar with Canadian football, their flags are red. And of course, in 1933, the referees' flags here in the United States were red as well. I think you're used to seeing some of that red on the field.
You had your hand wrapped right around him, 49 holding.
We've got our first torn jersey out on the field. Well, they even have a number to go with that. Look like 60, or at least a piece of 50.
50.
Let's see.
Dave Martineau.
Dave Martineau, yeah. He's currently got a very wide collar on that shirt.
He certainly does.
Yeah, you got it. That's your last one.
Referees are getting together, I think, to come to an agreement on what the flag was on and what the enforcement is. 25 seconds showing on the scoreboard clock. I think they're trying to decide if there's any time left on the clock at this point in half number one.
Well, the scoreboard is official.
Okay. So 25 seconds, the supposed time. Our score as we head down the stretch here, 15-6 as we head down the stretch here in half number 1. We'll step aside coming up at the half. And then in the second half, Mark Bedanza and I will be back. We're going to talk a little bit about the inaugural induction of the Leominster High School Football Hall of Fame. It took place Thursday night. Of course, this game kind of the capper on a big historic week of reflection here. And of course, in advance of the 127th Thanksgiving Day Classic coming your way right here at Doyle Field
You got 37
at the
seconds.
end of November.
We're going to break the tie.
Yeah, that's right. Now, the tie will be broken. Again, how many ties have been in according to your research?
10.
10 ties.
And I think under the modern tiebreaker rules, a tie is possible.
Okay.
If I'm not mistaken. After a certain number of tries, I think, under the MIAA rules.
Yes.
Not entirely positive about that, but I think you can still have one.
Well, I mean, we're still in the day where the coaches can agree not to play the tiebreaker, so we haven't got to uniform rules on that yet.
Yeah.
But someday soon, hopefully. I was talking on last night's broadcast on WPKZ about the lack of a state champion in high school football, a legitimate state champion in high school football in Massachusetts, one of the many controversies. I believe the Redskins kneeled on the ball to start the clock.
It's like they're just going to try to kill it.
The officials getting together. Clock is stopped with 16 seconds left. And there's the fire of the pistol. That is the end.
Cameraman Bob Sorrell's holding his chest.
My mom. Is that a registered handgun? What was that? That's the end of the first half with our score. The Fitchburg Redskins 15. The Leominster Blue and White Warriors 6. So, Mark, the end of half number 1. Is it what you were expecting? A defensive battle for the most part? Maybe a couple of special teams plays?
It was interesting. I would say that it's about what I expected. Interesting to see the play. I mean, really hard-fought battle out there. Those guys have been playing their hearts out. Give credit to all of them. In a competitive game both ways. I mean, Leominster had a couple of bad breaks with their special teams, but take those out of the equation, and it's a pretty close game.
Absolutely, been a pretty close game, and nonetheless, a lot more to come here on the second half of action on LATV. You're going to want to stay with us. Mark Bedanza and I will be back. As I said, we'll talk about the recent inductions into the Leominster High School Football Hall of Fame. All that and more, including the second half of action. Our score at the half, Redskins 15, Warriors 6. More to come. You're watching Leominster Access Television. As we come back to historic Doyle Field, Todd Robbins for Leominster Access Television. Happy to have you along with us as we get set to start the second half of action. Score, the Fitchburg Redskins 15 and the Leominster Blue and White Warriors 6. Recreation of the 1933 Thanksgiving Day Classic. So happy to have you along with us on this sun-drenched day at historic Doyle Field. Mark Bedanza rejoins me momentarily, but we get set to start half number 2. The Blue and White Warriors send the ball down the field. It's a beaut. And it will be marked down inside the Redskin 10. Mark, as we get set to start the second half of action, what kind of adjustments do you think the teams can make going into the second half?
I think they're going to probably open it up a little bit. Leominster, I would think, with some passing. Need to pile up a couple of points here.
So far, Leominster's record in these recreation games, not so hot. Currently, the 0 for 1.
There will be no rubber match, so it's either going to be 1-1 or 0-2 from the Leominster perspective.
So he says today. So he says today.
That's why I'm saying it. It's on record.
We can go back and check the record. Redskins have the ball. Again, those kicks ceremonial to start each half. They take the ball first down and 10, their own 20. Snap for was Ricky. Gets the ball out of the shotgun, gets it back to the line, maybe a short loss.
By the way, I had a chance to confer with the referees during the half. And that play down in the corner of the end zone, the ball no one had possession of it until it went into the end zone.
Okay.
Which was the call. So we were correct. You cannot advance the ball, of course, on the fumble, but Like I said, there was no possession established on the field of play, only in the end zone.
Gotcha. Well, glad we got a little clarification there.
Yeah, we went upstairs to the booth.
Yeah, I was going to say, we got the replay review. Second and a long 10 up here was Ricky at the quarterback spot on the snap and keeper. Loses yardage as he's taken back and finally tackled back around the Redskins 16. That was a straight snap to the back there. They've used it on the last couple of plays. And of course, in the modern era, everyone is all wooed, wowed, and whiz-banged by the Wildcat, which was quote-unquote invented by the Miami Dolphins of a couple of years ago.
Not
Mark,
quite.
as a historian, you would probably like to reset the record straight.
Yeah.
That offense has existed for years. It's just been brought back to popularity.
Absolutely. LATV does a great job with some film from the earlier eras of the Leominster Fitchburg games, and on Thanksgiving, I'm sure you'll see on LATV many instances where that exact offense was used back in the 30s and 40s.
And of course, it fell out of favor as everyone has gone to the downfield passing games in the professional and collegiate ranks. And now it's finding a home back, as now just about every team has got a little version of it. In this case, a snap and keeper again, sack in the backfield. Was Ricky taken down, loses a couple of more. This drive for the Redskins has gone backward, and farther backward. It brings up 4th down and long here, back around the 13-yard line. About 7 yards lost on this drive. 4th down and about 17 coming up. The line to gain is the 30. And in this case, it looks like Ryan Logan will come on with his heels backed up against his own end zone to punt.
I think Leominster's doing a wise thing here, having 2 guys back.
Bishop Link is one of them. 34 looks like the other. Listed on our roster as Anthony Iacoboni, but
don't think so.
Doesn't look like Anthony from here.
No.
Bad snap, recovered by Logan, and he got it away.
Amazing.
Very impressive. Didn't go very far, hopped about the Redskin 25, hopped up to Bishop Link, get around the 34. He was able to maybe advance it to the 33, if that, but that's the second time Logan has got a punt away. That time, not as impressive a distance, but certainly under duress.
He's cool under pressure.
Yes, he is.
Gotta give him that. Had that ball not gotten off, Leominster would have had much better field position, not than it does now, but field position, of course, for Leominster is good.
Logan, a Leominster native that relocated during his high school career over to Fitchburg and actually starred at quarterback for the Raiders during his 3-year career there. Logan graduated from Fitchburg High class of 03, the same year I graduated from Leominster class of 03. And
apparently he stayed with the red and gray.
He did stay with the red and gray. He was a freshman at LHS in '99 with me, and by 03 was the senior star quarterback for the Raiders. Not many can get away. That's like being a Hatfield and becoming a McCoy. It doesn't happen very often that you can survive to tell about it. He definitely got the better of us.
Bill Mackey spent his sophomore and junior years at St. Bernard's High School.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah. And then a couple of fellows from Fitchburg noticed his talents on the baseball diamond and his athleticism. He was 6'3" tall, or is 6'3" tall, and a great athlete, and they convinced him to enroll at Fitchburg High.
They're replaying 4th down. Logan this time gets a booming kick away. End over end, it wobbles. Hops at about the 33 of the Blue Devils, takes a big Redskin bounce. Bishop Link goes back to corral. He's taking it back from the Devil 19. Runs back across the 25, eludes another tackle. He's still on his feet. Finally dragged down at about the 20. A flag flies from the umpire downfield. We'll await the signal. For whatever reason, they replayed that 4th down, and certainly the Blue and White Warriors, not the beneficiaries. Much worse field position.
Can say that again.
Referee coming up the field to get the signal from the umpire on what the flag was marking. Raiders, known as the Redskins in 33, seem to be very happy about it. Personal foul, blocked below the waist against the Blue and White Warriors. Mark them back 15 yards. And that takes the mark back to the 10-yard line. Penalized him 10 yards there. 1st down and 10. The Blue and White Warriors of Leominster. trailing right now 15-6. Looking to get a little offense going. We'll see what the coaching staff was able to redraw up in the locker room at the half. Nico Mazzaferro continues at the quarterback under center. Quick pitch on the sweep going to the right. Got the ball to Rivera. Rivera got it back to the line, and that's about it. 2nd down and 10 coming up. Warriors changing personnel. Rivera out, Sanabria in at the halfback spot. Mazzaferro under center. Sweep left this time with Sanabria. Sanabria across the 10, go 15, leans his shoulder forward across the 20, angled out of bounds at about the 23-yard line.
He runs with purpose.
Yes, he does. He was a great running back in his time with the Blue Devils in high school. I'm going to get this wrong, but I think he was class of 02-ish. He's a little bit ahead of me in school, maybe 01, 02-ish. Also a dual threat basketball player. Certainly fast, hasn't lost any of that speed. Warriors reset the chains, 1st and 10, their own 22. Shifted eye behind Mazzaferro. Sweep right this time with Sanabria. Going the wrong way backfield, has his shirt ripped right off his back, lost his helmet as well. Got the ball back to the 20, lost about a yard on the play, and he has been decloaked. We've got decleaters in the modern football game when you get taken down. In this case, lost his shirt, he got decloaked.
Yeah, there's that shirt is.
It's gone.
Yeah, it's gone. It's a rag pile.
You get a good look there, though, at the padding that they are wearing, or lack thereof.
Lack thereof, yeah. Looks like Adam Cordio gave up his jersey to Mr. Sanabria, so Adam's number is now being worn by Dan Sanabria.
Yeah, and Cordio injured on the first play from scrimmage that he ran. Took a hard hit, went down awkwardly. Handoff went inside. That looked like 33 Nate Como on the carry. Lost short yardage, maybe a half a yard. 3rd down and about 11 and a half coming up. Line to gain is the 31 of the blue and white Warriors. Mark, in your research, were you able to tell why both the blue and white Warriors and the Redskins were both Indian references at the time?
Well, the Redskins, I think, was just a short-lived thing.
Okay.
In 1933, both teams introduced silk pants.
Interesting.
And the first time that the Fitchburg folks wore them was in early November, and when they came out, they caused quite a stir with the Fitchburg faithful, and there were all sorts of ideas for names based on those shiny red pants.
Okay.
And of course, in
passes picked off. We'll get back to that momentarily. Nice pick across the middle. Like 37 Jason Reed on the interception. And the run back, Redskins get great field position inside the Warrior 20 up to the 16-yard line.
Puts Leominster in a very difficult spot.
That they do, already trailing 15-6 here in 3rd quarter action. It was a good, strong pass thrown down the middle of the field and just picked right out of the air.
Well, getting back to that story.
Silk pants. Red
silk pants.
Silk pants.
And in 1932, the professional football franchise in Boston was called the Boston Redskins.
Okay.
Later moved to Washington, of course, and became the Washington Redskins. So I think there's probably a deference to the professional franchise in coming up with that particular nickname for Fitchburg High.
It's going to run a little bit quicker.
I think there was another one that was suggested at the time, the Red Dragons. There were a couple others that don't come to mind immediately. The blue and white Warriors, that goes back quite a ways. I saw references to that in the 20s. Oftentimes in the newspaper, they'd be referred to just as the blue and white.
Okay.
And then alternatively, sometimes the blue and white Warriors. like I said earlier, where the Blue Devils came from, I'm not entirely sure. You'd think because it's fairly recent that somebody would know that.
Yeah, I mean, I got to imagine, I mean, somewhere in the time period of the 50s, 60s, maybe my best guess.
Well, again, the earliest reference I found was in the Sentinel, 1953.
Okay, 53, the earliest reference that we've seen to the Blue Devils. So interesting. Well, hey, we'll say it again. If anybody out there listening or watching the rebroadcast of this game knows where that came from, we'd love to find out.
Yeah, it would be interesting to find out. I've asked a couple of folks to no avail so far that went to high school in that era. I think it might be one of those things where it just sort of started gradually and picked up some steam, and we don't really know who originated it, right? But someone knows, I bet.
I bet, or at the very least, they got an idea.
Yeah.
And of course, I mean, one of the important parts about history is being able to get it recorded before, it's lost to history.
That's right.
Certainly an enviable job at that. I backfield behind Logan on second down. Handoff straight forward. Once again for Wazirki. He got it maybe back to the line. Around the 11-yard line he stands.
Here you go, 28,
Line to
28.
Gigging is about the 6. Redskins, after having a first half where they scored more points than the Warriors, certainly did it from worse field position through most of that half, have now here in the early going of half number 2 been the beneficiaries of some great field position.
Let's go, Pete.
Well, Leominster needs a big defensive effort right here,
Certainly.
that's for sure.
Spot will be from the right hash, third down at about 7. I backfield behind Logan. Handoff straight up the middle. That's Eric Meza on the carry. Meza lost the football. That looks like a blue jersey on top of it.
It certainly
blue
does.
and white's football.
Big turnover for Leominster.
So Leominster takes over in their own half of the field. They'll have the ball first down and 10, their own 12.
Turnover bug is back.
Yes, it is. I'll tell you, great credit to the Redskins for the first half. Certainly field position wasn't their friend. They had a lot of trouble hanging on to the football in the first quarter, and somehow they came out having scored 15 points.
Yeah, it really.
In the first half.
It's kind of one of those type of games where, a few breaks here or there made all the difference.
Certainly. Warriors checking to see if they've got the proper number of players out there. Yeah, the do-rags can be left on the sidelines. Certainly those were not in style in 1933.
I don't think so.
Shifted from the left hash. Mazzaferro comes to the line. He'll have a pair, make it 3, receivers to his right. Single back behind him is Rivera. Sweep. They fake the reverse. Rivera hangs on to it, cuts back across the 10, up to the 15, driving his way forward, reaching for the 20, got to about the 19.
Nice run by Alex Rivera.
Gave him a little fake there, like maybe he would pitch it out. They actually faked a little reverse action there with one of the receivers coming back across the formation. And Rivera kept it and got it up to the Warrior 19-yard line. Of course, great crowd on hand today.
Yeah, I had a chance to get out during the half and take a walk, and stands are pretty well filled in.
Yes, they are. And of course, the people this year are just happy that it's in a stadium setting, as it was in 1933. Last year in 1894, you're standing on the sidelines. There were no seats.
No, not at all. People it's funny, I get a lot of comments. People miss the goalposts. They really enjoyed those goalposts out there in that beautiful pasture, but they were always intended to come down, of course, and because after all, it is conservation land. Bit of a miracle that we actually pulled that off and played that game there in that field. But
very cool with the log goalposts. For those that I remember, had the flags on top of them. They still exist. You got them in your backyard right now?
I don't.
Where are they at this juncture?
You have to get a hold of Dick O'Brien.
All right.
From the trustees of the reservations. I'm sure Dick put them to some new adaptive use.
Hey, I'll tell you, whoever created them the first time, yeoman's work there.
That's Dick.
On the delay.
Ball's
Got
loose.
his pocket picked. I think he got back down on top of it. That looked like it may have been Rivera. Redskins came out holding the football. However, the officials are getting together. They're saying down. And nope, the signal is Redskin football. The official coming in from the near side of the field was shaking his head like he didn't think it had come loose, but the umpire who's in that defensive backfield came forward and said it was out, or the running back was down, and they did not get back on top of it. They said Redskin football. Once again, this same part of the field very popular in the third quarter of action as it was in the first. Redskins take over first down and 10 at the Blue Warrior 15. Of course, today, recreation game, you know, in the middle of October. Back then, the original game, 1933, capacity crowd or more on hand.
Oh, yes, yeah, filled. 10,000 or more.
Some of those photos where you see people standing 5 and 6 deep on the walkways from back in the era are amazing. Logan lofts a pass. Oh. It was deflected. Picked off going the other way. Down the field it goes, down left sideline. Cutting back across the 40-45 midfield. Going the other way. Across the 40 and up to about the 36-yard line. There was a loose football at the end of the play. Pushing and shoving after the action.
Easy, easy,
you can't fake that.
Easy. Don't be touching me. Don't be touching me.
That is real emotion.
Don't touch me.
Players running off both sidelines.
You
Benches clearing, if you will.
You heard what he said, right? That's right. You heard what he said. He's out of the game.
Coach
Calm that guy down. Tell him
coming from
we'll
the far
appreciate
side
you
of the
guys
field,
playing.
diving in the middle of the pack to help the referees restore order. What's amazing, looking as I walked the field, you know, and looked at both sidelines, certainly these are not players that are either exclusively from Leominster or exclusively from Fitchburg, but all have taken very seriously to representing their side. These two teams don't like one another.
Yeah, it's absolutely. I did talk to the referees at halftime, and they suggested they were playing, you know, thus far they were playing a real clean game, and wasn't any.
Whatever you said, 26, you threw him out.
No, I'm throwing 31 out.
Okay, 31's out.
30 because he came in. Okay.
The other guy, the other two guys, you got him for the third man in.
I'm not going to throw anyone out then.
No, he's got to go because he's got to go. 31 goes. He was the third man in. Right, exactly. Okay. Yeah. 31's out because he came in. The other two guys were only reacting.
So get down. Get down.
Okay, hold on.
So that's a penalty then too, right?
31's out. You got the spot right here. Yeah, you're going to have to tack on 15 yards on that for a personal foul with the ejections. Yeah, you do.
That's right, yeah.
Okay, personal foul. Yeah. Who's got the ball, please? Who's got the ball? Hey, Henry. 31's ejected and you got a personal foul.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
So, we're going back 15 yards from the dead ball spot. Yes, he was the third man in. He was the third man in. 31 was the third man in. Hold on.
I see a 2010 model sitting behind that bench.
We need the ball.
I'm sure that Nico Mazzaferro would like to get his hands on that right about now.
Believe it. Is that a volleyball over there? What on earth? A medicine ball, if you will, right off the edge of the bench? Must have been using that in warm-ups.
I don't know.
I saw a loose field hockey ball kicking around. Of course, one of the great things about the renovation of Doyle Field, since they've done it, now gone to the turf this year, more teams able to participate in action, not just football. I know back in the day it was intended to be a football field, but now the opportunity for athletes in all sports to be able to play down here. Now the home of football, soccer, and field hockey able to play down in the bowl this year for the first time, who used to play their home games up in the baseball outfield. So obviously all are very happy and able to take advantage again of this gem of a field.
I think it's going to be your ball right here. It's their ball right here.
I want to talk a little bit about it, I guess, while they restore order and figure out what's going on.
Got a change of. No, I was going to say the way they had the yard markers set up there. I was wondering if there was a change of possession.
No.
That they just placed them properly.
Yes, they've brought them upfield. It is Warrior football. First down and 10 in Redskin territory at the Redskins 28. Make that 38.
Good opportunity for the blue and white Warriors.
Indeed. Receiver to each side of this shifted eye formation. Mazzaferro, the snap. Handoff was Rivera coming out of the backfield. Rivera gains the 30 up to about the 27. Very close to a first down if he doesn't have it.
A tough run.
It is a first down.
He ran right up into the gut of that Redskin defense.
Up to the 27, and they reset the chains for the Warriors. First down and 10. Certainly looking to get something going here, trailing 15-6. Third quarter action here from Doyle Field. Offset I set to the left this time behind Mazzaferro. Rivera still dotting the I. Rivera gets the handoff again, cutting back across the grain in the blocks. Across the 25 up to about the 21, and his forward progress is stopped. About a 5-yard gain on the play. Mark, we talked a little bit about it in the first half, alluded to, we wanted to get to it here in the second half. First class of the all-new Leominster High School Football Hall of Fame inducted. 10 honorees, one a team, 9 other individuals honored. We want to talk a little bit about that. The first guys in, it was what was described as the no doubt abouters in this first class.
Absolutely. The legends, if you will.
Absolutely.
The criteria, of course, is just not just on the playing field, but also contributors to Leominster High School football, as well as coaches. And we had representatives really from all 3 parts of that matrix.
Handoff straight up the middle. That is Danny Santabria wearing Adam Cordio's number on the field. Santabria gets a great carry there. Redskins are signaling they thought that he lost the football. Carry forward, gets the ball up to about the 10-yard line.
A timeout for an injury.
Yeah, a little slow to get up was Santabria, but he was going full tilt there.
Number 40 for Fitchburg's limping off as well.
And that, I believe, is the end of quarter number 3. 3 quarters in the books here from Doyle Field. The 1933 recreation football game. Right now, the lead, the Redskins 15, the Warriors 6. Todd Robbins alongside Leominster football historian Mark Bonanza. Mark, just for the beginning of last play, we were talking about the inductees into the first class of the Leominster High School Football Hall of Fame.
Yes. In the category of contributors, we had Bernard Doyle, of course, who created this fine venue here that we're using today. And in addition to that, really was instrumental in getting Leominster's first real sort of professional football coach in the visage of Raymond Comerford. And he led Leominster to back-to-back victories in 1928, 1929 over Fitchburg. First time that happened since 1911.
Wow.
And in fact, there were 10 seasons in those early years between 1912, I think, and 1920, where there were 11 games played where Leominster scored 1 touchdown and lost all 11 games. So that gives you an idea of how dominant that Fitchburg was back in those years.
It was a 25-year run, right, from the 1894 game to the first Leominster win?
Yeah, well, Leominster won a couple of games in the 19th century, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. And then there was the Lou Little years in 1910, 1911, where Leominster was successful. And then they tied a game in 1921, which was a cause of celebration here in Leominster.
Certainly.
And won in 1925. I believe that was I forget the score. I think it was 9-0. And then Ray Comerford came along in 1927. Well, his first season at the helm resulted in a 64-0 defeat of Leominster by Fitchburg. Still the greatest scoring disparity in the history of the rivalry.
As the teams change ends, starting quarter number 4, straight up the middle, a handoff for Santabria, swallowed up by the pack, up to about the 4-yard line of the Redskins.
I just opened my program, so we have a table of games. We can really speak from authority. And Leominster won in 1898.
Okay.
Actually, the Sentinel standings indicate that Leominster won. They played 2 games that season. And Leominster won the first game 5-0. No one disputes that. But the Sentinel indicates that Fitchburg won the second game 5-0.
Santabria takes the handoff straight up the middle. A flag is down. He's got the end zone for the moment. It's a touchdown. We await the flag.
Yeah, hold on. Here's Henry right here.
Certainly looks like the initial signal is against.
Yeah, the legal motion was coming toward the line, right? Okay.
Raiders fans seem thrilled with the initial
You
flag.
can't freaking do that.
Illegal motion against the blue and white.
Boy.
Take that penalty, mark the ball back, take the touchdown down off the board.
I think that's why Mr. Mazzuchello was prostrate on the field there
Who's
for a
the
little
motion
while
back?
after the play.
He seemed a little
You got to be
disappointed.
going backwards. You can't be going along
Getting
the
back to
line. You got to go
1898.
backwards.
I disagree with the Sentinels finding that the Leominster lost that game 5-0 because the officials that were at that game ruled that a 0-0 tie.
Okay.
The touchdown that was scored by Fitchburg was scored when a punt return was made by Fitchburg and the entire Fitchburg faithful emptied onto the field. So that
Stanford band play. We've
Yes.
seen that. Fumbled football there. Santabria got it back. He reached forward, got it across to about the 5-yard line. So Stanford band-esque. Everyone ran out on the field on the punt, huh?
they did, and then the referee called back the touchdown, tried to establish the ball back at the 50-yard line and restore order to the game. Couldn't restore order. The Fitchburg fans were jubilant and refused to participate or accept the penalty. And in futility, he just blew the whistle with a few seconds left in the game and ruled it a 0-0 tie.
See you later, bye.
And that story is actually in the Sentinel.
But yet,
Yet the headline says 5-0, Fitchburg wins. So when you turn that into a 0-0 tie, that is the 10th tie.
okay.
And as I indicated by my standings and my research,
And off for Santabria again. He bounces it to the outside. He gets hit, but he reaches for the goal line. The signal is touchback. A fumbled football into the end zone for a touchback. I'm not certain that the referee knew that he was across the goal line when Santabria seemed like he had gotten in. Referees are coming out with the ball to the 20-yard line. I believe this is going to stand as a touchback. It's going to be Redskin football. The blue and white are beside themselves. I'm not certain that they're using many words that we can repeat. Something about they need to go back to be good humor ice cream salesman or something like that. I'm not really pleased with the officiating thus far. As it stands, it'll be Redskin football coming out from the end zone on the touchback. And the score stands at 15-6 Redskins. Leominster coaching staff on the near sideline, a little bit beside themselves.
You better get somebody out. You better get somebody
Ralph
out,
Jakes,
Blue.
defensive coordinator, Dave Palazzi, the
Tough
offensive
turn for
coordinator,
Leominster.
and Gil Donatelli, their head coach. Stunned disbelief would be the best way to describe it.
Timeout!
Whistles kill the play. Timeout on the field.
Timeout on the blue.
Timeout taken
on
by
the field.
Fitchburg as they want to talk things over. They may have had a personnel issue, didn't have the right players out on the field.
Blue. 1-1, right?
One of the surprising pieces of the early inductees, and it was quite the discussion table I was sitting at on Thursday night, Charles Hazard.
yeah,
Charles Hazard was the captain of the 1928 football team, if I'm not mistaken.
that's correct.
And, you know, one of the things, very rare in that era, an African-American
Yeah.
captain of the high school football team in 1928. What a great
Testament.
piece of history.
Yeah, and also obviously a great testament to the forward thinking or the open-mindedness at least of
Absolutely.
Ray Comerford and folks in Leominster. You know, you have to understand back in that era, professional football was segregated from
Yes.
1933 to 1946. Not till Bill Willis and Marion Motley and Kenny Strode in Washington and out in LA came along that year was the game integrated.
Ryan Logan on the quarterback sweep coming to the right side. Out of bounds he goes at around the 21-yard line. Gained maybe a yard on the play. Brings up second down. Tell you, some great angles out there. Cameras, we talked about it in the first half. Got one stalking around on the umpire's chest. Got a couple of field level high definition cameras going up there and going around down on the field. And then we've got one up here with Bob Sorrow at the helm. Jack Selly down there. Kenny Cottle down at field level. For Leominster Access Television, Todd Robbins alongside Leominster football historian Mark Bedanza. The Redskins have the football, 2nd down and 9. Botched snap count there. I believe the Redskins moved first. Wind whips up, takes the hat off of the referee once again. It really does. I mean, we've seen some of that old footage, and I mean, you see hats blowing around, people are dogs on the field. I've seen some of that old footage. Jack Selly is restored. You got dogs out on the field during games. Not the as formal, a pristine playing field as you play in today. No. The only issues you have to worry about really right now are on the other side of the ropes. 5-yard penalty for an illegal snap motion against the Redskins. Mark them back 5 yards. 2nd down at about 13 coming up. Ball back across the 20 to about the 16-yard line.
Make a block line!
Ryan Logan continues at quarterback for the Redskins here in quarter number 4. Logan, the snap. Quarterback draw straight up the middle. Gains a couple, ball up to about the 19. See Frank Novak stalking the sideline there as he did in the NFL for so many years. Gave a great keynote speech on Thursday night at that induction ceremony.
Certainly did. Really class guy.
Absolutely. He's even doing a little coaching. He was yelling at the Pop Warner players.
Yeah,
it was great. Yeah, I'll tell you.
He got their attention.
No doubt. Kids of the modern era certainly need to be snapped around a little bit, and he had no problem doing it.
Yeah, definitely a commanding presence.
Logan, shotgun snap. Sets, takes the ball down, now sends it up the sideline. Nice catch made there. Tim Letarte made the nice catch. Big hit made as he was taken down, but Letarte went around the defender to make the catch over the defender's shoulders. Gets the 1st down across midfield and up to the Warrior 45. There's a red hanky on the field, back around the 14-yard line. That play is going to be all for naught, but what a play it was.
It was pretty. Nice hit on Mr. Letarte there, too.
Nate Como, 33, I believe, had the finishing hit.
Yeah, jarred the ball loose, but unfortunately for Leominster, went out of the field of play.
5-yard penalty marked off. I'm going to guess he wasn't 5 yards behind the line of scrimmage. Logan took the snap in the shotgun formation. Yeah, they say an illegal forward pass. So.
That's what it would be.
Shotgun right now, they're about 3 yards back, and Logan didn't backpedal much at all. He needed to go back at least 2 more yards, is my guess.
Yeah. Looks like Leominster is looking for a big return here.
That they are.
This time Fitchburg kicking into the wind.
Bishop Link is back to return right around midfield. Also see 55 Mike Gentili standing back between the 50 and 45 on the Redskin half of the field. Depends. Logan has put some great punts on the football. Another flag flies for a delay of game against the Redskins. 5 more yards they go. They'll be looking at 4th down and about 30. They'll snap the ball from about the, that will be half the distance marked up. Ball will be snapped from about the 6. Logan will be standing at least 2 or 3 yards into his own end zone.
Looks like the Leominster defense will be exerting some pressure on this kick.
Certainly. Leominster has been the beneficiary of some great field position. It hasn't translated much into points. Logan gets the snap, gets the kick away. This one a mile high, gets picked up by the wind, and it's blowing way back. Blue Warrior bounce, and it was a beaut. Nice job to get up there and down the ball. The ball was down at about the 16-yard line.
Reminds me of a game played in Clinton back in, I think, 1932.
Hey, what are you going to give him, a 2 or a 4?
When the Clinton Gales, aptly named,
the Gales, yes.
Okay, you got it.
Clinton player kicked
Henry.
a punt.
We've got to give him either a 2-minute or a 4-minute warning now. 4 minutes.
Covered the end zone for a touchdown.
Wow. That thing, certainly, you could see it get grabbed and just start to get pulled back toward the point of kick. I would say maybe, as the ball was down at the 16-yard line of the Redskins, maybe a 15-yard kick. I mean, it boomed out to maybe about as far as the 35, but then the wind carried it all the way back.
Amazing.
Mazzaferro continues at quarterback. The handoff for Rivera, cuts back across the center, forward and up to about the 10-yard line.
Leominster threatens again.
Indeed they do. Hanging on to the football at the end of plays be very important here as we come down the stretch. Quarter number 4, the 1933 recreation of Thanksgiving 1933. It was a battle on the field at the time, and it's been a battle here in the recreation game. 15-6 our score. Fitchburg leads. If you're just joining us, where have you been here on Leominster Access Television? Todd Robbins alongside Mark Bedanza. Plenty of re-airings. You want to check your local listings for more. Plenty of opportunities to see this one on the LATV airwaves. The handoff for Rivera. He bounces it to the outside, across the 5, gets angled out of bounds at about the 3-yard line, stopping the clock.
Nice run.
Yes, indeed. Rivera was a very talented running back during his time with Leominster. Still has those wheels today. Be first and goal coming up for the Warriors at about the Redskin 3-yard line. See Mr. Mackey departing. Handoff straight up the middle for Rivera. He gets stood up in the pack. No gain on the play. You can see the surge forward Rivera made, and all of a sudden he started to rise off the ground as the defense was picking him up and pushing him back.
Okay, hold on. Timeout, 4 minutes left in the game.
Whistles kill the play. 2-minute warning being given to both benches. 2 minutes left in the ball game. Actually, excuse me, 4 minutes. That was a 4-minute warning. Was that common in 1933? A 4-minute warning?
I think that's what it was.
Oh, all right. 4 minutes it is. 4 certainly better for the Warriors, who are looking for some more time to try to close the gap. Sweep coming to the right. Danny Santabria on the carry. Santabria moving parallel the line of scrimmage. May have lost a couple as he gets pushed back. Point of farthest progress, they give him about the 3-yard line again, which was the start. 3rd down and goal from the 3 coming up. Warriors need a play here. They got to find some gap.
Absolutely.
Haven't had a throw in and around the goal line. Everyone's been trying to run it in short
Well,
yardage.
they're afraid of something there, because if the ball falls incomplete in the end zone, it's a touchback, goes out to your opponent at the 20, so it's dangerous pass.
Very dangerous move unless you think you've got an open man.
Yeah, it's a dangerous pass down there in 1933. And that happened in the 33 game to Leominster.
Well, Leominster certainly needs to try something here. Late in the ball game.
A lot of room to the right side.
Certainly is. Bishop Link is lined up in single coverage to the far right of the formation. Here's the snap, play action fake. They throw it up the middle. Pass is caught. Touchdown. Touchdown, blue and white.
So John Rodriguez?
Yeah, I think it may have been 34. We're showing Anthony Iacoboni. Certainly doesn't look like Anthony Iacoboni.
No, I think that was John Rodriguez.
J-Rod, John Rodriguez. Hey, he's getting the credit. Rodriguez makes the catch. Good for a touchdown. Closes the gap here. 15-12 now the score. Certainly no three-point play available to the blue and white at this moment. They can close it, though, down to a 2-point deficit. It's, again, only the 1-point option available in 1930.
Correct. Important, because that gives them a game winner with a field goal.
Certainly. Steve Modka will mark it off. He is a slightly soccer-styled kicker. Ball down, kick is batted way back. No good. So the blue and white will be looking for either the field goal
to tie,
the touchdown to go ahead. Red Raiders, at that time the Redskins, will now have the ball, first down and 10 starting at their 20. For those of you just joining us again, the kicks have been simulated for the safety of the players. Little controversy here at press level on the value of extra points. Extra points worth just 1 point. 1 point. Down a couple of broadcasts down the road there on the radio, they're talking about 3 points. So there's a question on the scoreboard.
No.
That's
1 point.
1 point. Score is accurate. 15-12. The score. The Redskins leading thus far.
Todd, just looking at the last time these teams tied, or the Fitchburg Leominster high school football teams at least tied, it's like 1960.
Okay.
14-14.
14-14. And the in the modern era, in the 90s and the 2000s, they have been playing the tiebreaker. It was an option each and every year. They didn't necessarily have to play the tiebreaker, but in the modern era, they have been agreeing on playing the tiebreaker. Now, actually, the MIAA does have a slight requirement, obviously, because they have put a pseudo playoff system in place. The tiebreaker in the modern era must be played if either team has the ability to go forward and advance on in the playoffs.
We told him to leave the
Hankies
ball
all
on the
over
ground.
the field as whistles kill the play.
The whole game. We're not going to call it. Henry, he came across and he touched him. We've got to do it. Henry, we've got to do it. We've got to do it.
Arguments ensue.
Where is Quick?
The umpire is very certain of the rules. He's marked the ball back 5 yards. He threw the flag.
We've gotta do it.
He marked the ball back 5 yards and put it down at the 15-yard line.
Leave the
Good
ball on the
development for
ground.
Leominster.
Yeah, getting a little bit of the better field position.
They got the win, too, at their back, which is important.
Save for the first couple of plays, if I'm not mistaken, of this half. Again, most of the action has taken place to our left, camera left, on this end of the field. Redskins come out, straight back I formation. Snap looking to bounce it to the outside. Defense has grabbed him, man is taken down. That was Eric Mezza on the carry. Mezza didn't go very far.
Leominster defense is invigorated.
Yes, they are. And for good cause.
Well, you know, if they can hold them here, and Fitchburg is forced to punt, they're punting into that stiff breeze again.
Yes, they are.
We saw what happened last time with that.
Ball went farther backward than it did going forward.
The wind has played a tremendous role in this game, and who knows, it may even be a bigger role before it's done.
You're right. Ball shifted to the right hash. I formation behind Logan under center. Logan the snap, heavy 7-step drop and rolls out to his right. Throws across his body. It was a strike, but it was deflected down incomplete.
Nice defense by number 30.
Bishop Link knocks that ball away.
We got it.
Did a nice job to get up underneath the receiver, Curtis Stillman.
Very good play on behalf of Leominster.
Brings up third down.
Drama building here, Todd.
And you can feel the crowd is excited. I said it is a beautiful day out here at Doyle Field. I would say, you know, if anything else, you know, you compare the 1894 to the 1933 game, you got much better weather here,
That's for
this
sure.
year. No rain, plenty of sun.
There's no question about that.
Ball shifted to the right hash again behind Logan. Logan goes
it's loose.
loose football. Blue shirts are at the bottom of that pile. It kind of scrummed away again toward the tail end of the play. Official signaled the stoppage of the clock. Now we're going to see who's got the football.
Fourth down. Blue
Not too
timeout.
much jubilation on the Leominster side.
No, signal
like
is
it's Fitchburg
fourth down.
ball.
Yeah, fourth down. So the Redskins got back on top of it.
They got one left.
However, the Warriors stand to get great field position once again as this is fourth down and about 20 coming up for the Redskins. They're going to be punting out of their own end zone once again, or just about out of their own end zone.
Wonder if they should take a safety.
That's interesting. I mean, 2 points wouldn't matter.
No, and it gives you the free kick, right?
Yeah, it gives you the
from the
free
20,
kick, which takes it all the way back to the 20 up the other end, and with under 3 minutes left here in the ball game, perhaps around 2 minutes.
We'll
the last thing we got was that 4-minute warning.
See what the Fitchburg Brains Trust is doing over there.
Yeah, that would be interesting. 2 points obviously doesn't do anything to the score other than make it 2 points closer.
Shut up! Right, keep it quiet. You had 2 inside tackles. Who are they? All right. You are still going to go over and get that guard. All right? The left linebacker, as he is going to get that guard, you are coming off of him and going for the block. You got that show going. On the left side, David, what's our best number? 1, 2, or 3, 1?
We're going to go 1, 2. I'm going.
Yeah, 1, 2. Okay, 1, 2. You got that going? Over on the right side. Who's my right end? Okay, who's my right end? Okay. I want you to come up. Who's outside of you?
Me.
You are. Okay. I want you to come up over the field, hit the gap on the other side between the wing and the tackle.
Yes,
and it's
sir.
still going to be a right guy.
Inside of his own goal line. The ball will be snapped from the 11-yard line.
Might be snapped right into the goalpost.
That's right.
A la Bill Belichick.
Yeah, you're right. You know, they are not lining up in a punt formation here.
No, they are not, are they?
It looks like they may be attempting a play. Logan is in the shotgun.
You're going to run right back into the end zone.
And that's what he did. Runs it back into the end zone and running some clock out, and now
Run right out of
the back of the end zone for a safety. Closes it to 2 points. 15-14
So
now our score.
That thought apparently dawned on the Fitchburg staff as well.
It did. And you know, he was able to snap it and run a little bit of time off the clock.
Very interesting.
Yeah, a little chicanery, a little gamesmanship.
Yeah.
All well within the rules and all very, very smart. The free kick is, again, no kickoffs on today's game because of safety purposes. So it brings the ball back down the field. You won't have the free kick punt as you normally would.
Right.
Kick the ball back down the field. First down and 10, blue and white from their own 20-yard line. Half of the field we haven't seen in a while. Plenty of sun down here, though. First down and 10, blue and white, their own 20-yard line, long field in front of them. Got to go 80 yards to pay dirt. Field goal is an option, but again, it's a worryful option at that. Whether it's realistic or not, who knows? Mazzaferro back to pass, flips the screen out to Curley. Curley's got it. No, check that Rivera. Rivera across the 20 up to the 21, gain of a yard. About 1:10 left on the field is what we're hearing. So the gain of maybe a yard on the play, if that. 2nd and 9 coming up.
Almost a one big play away.
Yes, they are. They need to get some open field. Hard to create separation in this game, though. Not quite the same as the modern era.
Fitchburg safeties are deep.
Good snap. Mazzaferro squares his feet, looks down the seam. He's got a blink. Is up. He makes the catch across midfield. He fumbled the football. He fumbled the football to the Redskins on their own 43-yard line.
Oh my
God. From jubilation to heartbreak, the big catch by Bishop Link. He advances the ball across midfield, fumbled it around the Redskin 45, and it's recovered by Fitchburg. Oh my.
It's under a minute, man. Oh, yeah.
If he looks for a time, then he might break a tackle.
No doubt. He looked like he was going to create the separation and take it up the field. It was a great catch. Strike thrown by Mazzaferro up the middle. Link made the catch and then lost the handle.
It's going to take some drama here.
Yes, it is. Big defensive play necessary. Right around a minute left in this ball game.
I think Fitchburg is going to kill the clock, looks like.
Yeah, they're getting together in the victory formation. Logan goes under center, snaps and takes the knee, begins the runoff. Crowd beginning to show their appreciation. The hugs out on the field. The starter pistol is up. Hold on to your hats. There's the signal, and that's the end of the ball game. The final score in the recreation of the 1933 Thanksgiving Day game: Fitchburg 15, Leominster 14. You said amazing, Mark, and you're absolutely
It was
right.
an amazing game. These guys, they all deserve a great measure of our respect. They really played their hearts out with no small measure of danger to their bodily integrity out there.
Bodily harm was certainly a possibility, and you know what? Everyone made it through okay. We had a couple of injuries out there, but nothing seemed really major. Everyone will go to work on Monday, hopefully, maybe a little banged up, but hopefully healthy. Great ball game once again. Our final score, 15-14, Fitchburg, the winner. Mark, you know, another one in the books. I know you say never, but you can never say never, right?
Well, for a while at least.
3 somewhere in the future, hopefully. Books. And maybe before we close, we were talking a little bit about that Hall of Fame situation. Next year's class, of course, is in the works. Somewhere down there again, October time frame in 2011 for the second induction.
Yeah, sometime in that time frame. We'll be working on it throughout the year. We've got some good things underway already. We're hoping for a couple of surprises this year coming up. Next year there won't be a game to do, so we'll have a little bit more time to devote to it. So we're looking forward to a great second induction class. Todd, I want to thank you. It was a pleasure.
Thanks very much, Mark. Appreciate it.
Great play-by-play and a great game. And I'm going to take that trophy down there and let the Fitchburg boys enjoy it for a few moments.
All right, Mark.
Thanks very much.
Thank you so much for joining us and providing the color and the historical perspective. That's Mark Bonanza, football historian. Want to congratulate him. A couple of great books he's written, and also a couple of great events with the Forging Rivals that he has put on here in the city of Leominster. Congratulations to him and all of the involved folks out there. Congratulations to the players as well. Put on a great show. And again, very enjoyable. The crowd was certainly treated to a great ball game. And now the trophy presentation going on shortly down on the field as soon as Mark can get it down there. And I got to say, what a very, very interesting day it was here at Doyle Field. I want to congratulate those from Leominster Access Television. Some great technology introduced out there today. Jack Sully, Kenny Cottle at the helm. Bob Sorrow on camera up here in the press box. Mark Bonanza. And, of course, myself, Todd Robbins. Happy to be here with you as the teams get together. They have the official trophy presentation going on. The officials heading off the field as well. But a great day of recreation football here from Doyle Field. With that, we will bid you adieu. For everyone at Leominster Access Television, we want to thank you so much for joining us. Forging Rivals 2 in the books. Forging Rivals 2 goes to Fitchburg. Final score 15-14 here from Doyle Field. Perhaps a Forging Rivals 3 somewhere down the road. If you want to visit the all-new Leominster High School Football Hall of Fame, it will be housed at the Leominster Historical Society. Take a visit in there. They'll be setting it up, I'm sure. It will be housed there until a renovated Phase 2 of the field house here at Doyle Field can take over permanent possession of that. Congratulations to everyone involved with the game. For everyone at Leominster Access Television, I'm Todd Robbins. Thank you so much for joining us, and so long, everybody.
Play country music.
Some of you guys are probably a little thirsty.
Hey, we gotta shout out the old men who play. We got one guy who's 40, another guy who's 50 over here. Came out of the
Hell yeah! Hell yeah!
Let's go, let's get
Love the game, baby.
Marcus Reza, Fitchburg.
Get a check.
Nice job, guys.
All right, no, get it from Jersey.
Yes.
All right, so
We'll take it back.
Yeah, baby.
Hey, right, guys. Picture over here.